The real reason Mewtwo erased everyone's memory was to hide a secret the creators are still trying to cover up. I uncovered the one moment that proves his entire philosophy was a lie. You need to see the final battle to understand the shocking truth he didn't want anyone to remember. Stick around for the revelation that changes everything. The movie kicks off inside a lab, straight out of every mad scientist's dream. Beakers bubbling, scientists scrambling, and in the middle of all that chaos, a floating psychic monster in a test tube. That monster? Mewtwo. The man? The myth? The genetically engineered menace? They've been experimenting on this dude non-stop, and when he finally opens his eyes, the scientists lose their collective minds like they just unlocked the final boss of science. They tell him he's the ultimate clone, not born, but built. You'd think they'd be careful talking to a 7-foot muscle tank with telekinesis, but nah, they start flexing about how he's their greatest creation. Mewtwo's like, "So I'm basically your project? Say less." Man didn't ask a single follow-up question, just vaporized the entire lab. Instant regret for every person in that building. He literally turned test subject into test over. 5 minutes in, 9 casualties deep. Man's death ratio is looking biblical. As the smoke clears, Giovanni, the big boss of Team Rocket, swoops in with a helicopter like it's a rescue mission. He steps out, all calm and composed, talking slick. "You're powerful. You deserve purpose. Join me, and I'll help you control your strength." Cap so heavy it tilted his whole moral compass. Mewtwo, not knowing any better, goes along with it. Giovanni slaps a metal suit on him to stabilize his power, which is basically villain talk for remote control. For a while, Mewtwo plays along, wrecking Pokémon left and right, until the realization hits he's still being used. Again, the man literally can't catch a break, so he snaps, blows up Giovanni's base, breaks out the armor, and flies off like, "Alright, bet now I'm doing things my way." Cut to Ash Ketchum, just trying to enjoy lunch for once in his life. But peace never lasts. A random trainer rolls up demanding a battle. Bro, can't even eat without someone trying to test his Pikachu. Ash accepts, because of course he does, and wins the fight despite half his team having badges from suspiciously easy gyms. Afterward, a Dragonite, yes, a literal Dragonite, shows up carrying an invitation like it's Amazon Prime. The message? Come to New Island for a private Pokemon showdown. No sender info, just show up. Red flag number 1. Dragonite dips, only to get clapped mid-air by a frying pan? Let that sink in. A mythical dragon flying faster than sound, defeated by cookware. That's cartoon physics at its finest. Ash and his crew roll up to the dock, but there's a storm raging, and the ferry's canceled. The officials are like, "If you go out there, you'll die." Half the trainers? Bet. They go anyway. Team Rocket, never ones to miss a hustle, disguise themselves as Vikings offering a ride. And somehow, it works until Poseidon himself slaps their boat with a tsunami. Everyone's now surfing their Pokemon across an ocean like it's an Olympic event. Squirtle's out here doing backstrokes, Staryu spinning like a Beyblade, everyone else hanging on for dear life. When they finally hit New Island, they're met by a woman who looks way too familiar. Brock, being Brock, immediately clocks her as Nurse Joy, but she denies it faster than a kid caught with snacks before dinner. She escorts them to a castle-like dining hall where a few other trainers are waiting. Supposed to be 4 of them, but one didn't make it. No big deal, she just straight up died in the storm. Yeah, this movie really said survival of the fittest and kept it pushing. The trainers start flexing their Pokemon, and one guy claims his whole team is made up of water types. Then he throws out a Nidoqueen. My brother in Christ, what part of water type is that? Another trainer looks like his eyes forgot to render. And before anyone can roast them further, the air shifts. Lights dim, aura thickens, Mewtwo enters. He floats down like the final boss everyone accidentally skipped to. No words, no emotion, just pure psychic pressure. Then he speaks not through his mouth, but straight into everyone's minds. "I am the world's strongest Pokemon." Bro didn't even need subtitles to sound arrogant. Some loudmouth trainer starts barking about how no Pokemon can be stronger than a human master, and Mewtwo just gives him the most disrespectful look imaginable, then bodies his Gyarados in one move. Hyper Beam? Denied. That man's entire team folded before the theme music could even kick in. Down below, Team Rocket sneaking through the basement and stumble across Mewtwo's cloning lab. Turns out, dude's been running a whole operation. He's creating duplicate Pokemon stronger, faster, and loyal only to him. Basically a no humans allowed club. Mewtwo goes on a rant about how people are trash, how they use Pokemon for selfish gain, and how he's gonna rebuild the world without them. But bro keeps saying you humans, like the random group of kids in front of him, were the ones who built his tube. Take a breath, my guy. And just when you think he's trying to be some save the Pokemon revolutionary, nah. He's ready to wipe out the originals too, calling them weak for siding with humans. Pikachu tries to talk sense into him, and Mewtwo's like, "Be gone, rodent," and sends him flying. Another trainer tries to throw a Pokeball at him, thinking he's slick. It bounces off like a rubber toy. Embarrassing. Then comes the main event. Mewtwo reveals his ultimate clones and challenges everyone to a tournament. Ash sends out Charizard, and Mewtwo doesn't even flinch. The clone Charizard steps up and proceeds to violate the original like it's a personal mission. Dude dodges every move, hits combos straight out of a fighting game, and finishes with a Sky Slam that leaves a crater the size of Dusty Divot. Rest in peace to that poor lizard's self-esteem. When everyone's defeated, Mewtwo starts snatching their Pokemon with Psychic Pokeballs. You can't even recall your own because his Pokeballs intercept them mid-air like guided missiles. Ash is sprinting through the chaos, getting smacked by Pokeballs left and right, trying to save Pikachu. And this man, this actual human being, jumps headfirst into the cloning machine to wrestle the mechanical arms. Bro even bites one. He's fighting robotics with dental determination. He somehow breaks the machine, freeing everyone. Now both the originals and the clones are standing face to face. Tension through the roof. Mewtwo's about to erase them all when Ash does his signature move, flips his hat backward like he's activating a cheat code, and decides he's gonna punch a psychic god. This kid got more bravery than sense, and that's when Mew finally shows up. The original, the blueprint, but instead of fighting seriously, Mew's just playing around, zipping in circles, while Mewtwo's out here giving villain speeches like, "I am the superior being." Bro, you're arguing with a pink cat that's laughing mid-battle. Mew finally gets serious, fires a blast back at Mewtwo, and suddenly, it's Dragon Ball Z in the sky. Meanwhile, on the ground, chaos. Pokemon and their clones throwing hands like it's the WWE. Blastoises trading punches, Charizards headbutting each other, Bulbasaur's body slamming cousins. Ash is climbing down from some tower trying to stop them, looking like the one sane man in an insane world. Then, the inevitable, Mew and Mewtwo start charging up energy blasts that could erase a city. And instead of stepping away, Ash runs straight between them, screaming like he's about to lecture them into peace. The blasts hit, and he gets turned to stone on impact. Instant silence. Pikachu rushes up, tries shocking him back to life, nothing. Even the clone Pikachu stops fighting, watching in shock. And then it happens, the tears. Every Pokemon, clone or not, starts crying. Their tears mix, shimmer, and somehow reverse death itself. Boom. Ash's heart starts beating again. Plot armor at its finest. Charizard's crying too, which is wild because man was just ignoring him a few scenes ago. Mewtwo finally realizes the truth: violence doesn't make you stronger, it just makes you lonely. He thanks Mew, scoops up his clone squad, and pieces out. But before leaving, he literally rewinds time, erases everyone's memories, and drops them back at the dock like none of it ever happened. The storm clears, the sun's out, and Ash just walks off like he didn't just die for the second time that month. And that's Mewtwo Strikes Back. A movie that somehow manages to be emotional, insane, and hilarious all at once. A philosophical debate wrapped in an anime fistfight, so now you know the truth. Mewtwo tried to erase. Tell me which moment made you question his entire mission. Let me know if you believe his change of heart was genuine or forced. Share your own theory about the clone's true fate in the comments below. Follow for more breakdowns that reveal the secrets behind iconic anime villains.